Get underway, and I'd like to invite the representatives of the Diamond Harbour Community Association. Is it Richard Suggett? Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Kia ora koutou. First up, perhaps not the best dressed, but anyway. I know, it's good.
It's actually much harder at the end of the day.
No. Okay, I'm the recently appointed chairperson of the Diamond Harbour Community Association. The association's been going since about 1931, so it's a body that represents fairly strongly the views of the Diamond Harbour community. We had about 25 people turned up to our AGM just last month, and we had almost excess of people fighting to be on the committee. And we've got 14 committee members now, and we're involved in maintaining the website, Diamond Harbour Herald, maintaining the community hall, and other connection functions in the community. So I think it's fair to say we do represent well the opinions of the community, which can be quite opinionated. It is a strong and cohesive community. Our submission is quite succinct in the way I've laid it out, the points. I think they're quite clear there, what position we're taking on various things. And of course it's reasonably parochial because we're talking about Diamond Harbour and on a lot of those. I'd just like to focus on the time available just on a number of those items that are raised in the submission. The first one is in relation to the reserve management. And I'd like to just bring to the Council's attention, may not be aware that the 3 recent storm events, 2 cyclones and 1 large southerly storm, had a very, very large impact on Diamond Harbour reserves. While Christchurch got off reasonably lightly during those cyclone events, apart from the flooding, the wind damage in Diamond Harbour was very, very large. And those people have been to Diamond Harbour and been out to Godley House Point and gone right out to the point and looked across to Repapa Island. Well, there used to be a pine forest there. There is literally no pine forest left. It's been totally devastated. There's about 90% destruction of trees on that headland. So there has been an enormous amount of damage in the coastal reserve area, and that's a kind of a context in terms of some of the work. Just want to note that we have got a restoration project. The Regional Council is involved in supporting that as well as through the Zone Implementation Committee in one of the local gullies, and we're pleased that the Council is prepared to support that as well. By fencing that gully out of council grazing area and supporting the restoration. In terms of the walkway itself, we support the head-to-head walkway, but note there was quite a commitment required now to reopen and repair the tracks around Diamond Harbour. We certainly like to see the walkway in going down to Purau finished as a priority, and obviously also back towards Charteris Bay, the Church Bay extension. Moving on from the reserves, just a note in terms of the community facilities, on the second page of our submission there, it's been, obviously we've been lobbying for a number of years now post-quakes, particularly since Godley House was demolished, for something to be done about the state of the foundations there. We have rather ugly set of concrete foundations that an archaeological report recently to the Council said was partially of value, the pre-1900 bits. I must say the community opinion is that it doesn't actually value the concrete foundations really at all, but we understand there is some historic merit possibly to them. It seems the proposed solution is to remove the more recent concrete foundation and to grass over the older concrete foundation, and if that is the temporary solution, we would ask that to be hurried up and got on with. We would hope that had been done. We had some indication it would be done before the Summit concert season that our subcommittee called SPRIG organises. We have now had 2 years of summer concerts over there, which are good community events and attract people over from Christchurch as well. But having to look at ugly fences, which I have to admit some local community people took on their hands to remove anyway, that basically needs tidying up and sorted out as an immediate step. And then longer term, what we would like to do is to have more council planning engagement in redesign of what is to be done to replace Godley House with the insurance money that's still set aside there. I think it's about $1.5 million left in the pot there. I'm glad we've had indications from the council that that is still ring-fenced, or for not necessarily particularly well ring-fenced, but at least it's on the books as being the insurance money for the Godley House site, and it's not going anywhere else as far as we know. And we would like to have a replacement community facility put on there. We've undertaken a number of planning exercises at our own costs. Recently we just funded a $5,000 landscape design report for the Godley House site and the surrounding shopping, shall we say, town centre area. So that's our second major piece of design work that we've done, organised and funded by the community, and we would really like the council to engage with us in terms of doing some planning. We realise you've got a very large number of other priorities in terms of Christchurch rebuild, but so we've done, it's almost gone as far as we can go now in terms of putting forward ideas as to how the Godley House area may be satisfactorily turned into something in the future which will have community value. The only other thing I want to note in terms of community facilities is to express appreciation for the fact that it's indicated there is going to be some upgrading and repair work done to the community centre, which has managed to remain open almost through the whole period post-earthquake, which is great. And that the council does have membership of the Stoddard Cottage Committee, which is a very important historic asset there and also in the community locality. And lastly, just to go back to the beginning again, just want to note that while there's been an enormous amount of storm damage around the city, it has been very pleasing that the council has staff or services or contractors have done their best to clean up roads over on our bit of the peninsula pretty promptly and have made considerable effort to chainsaw away the biggest trees on the most major tracks. So just a pat on the back for the hard-working staff and contractors who have assisted. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I suppose I'll start with the question that I've been asking a number of community organisations, which is, with a bit of support with the council, how much could the local community do for themselves in terms of, some of the clean-up activities? I mean, I know that you say that you've taken things as far as you can, but that was more really in the development area for the overall site. This is making it good for summer. What is there more that the community could do, like in a partnership with the council?
I think in terms of the reserve clean-up, there's some major decision to be made about whether or not some of those pine trees are actually going to be extracted. Or just left higgledy-piggledy to be sort of gradually colonised by weeds and other plants that are generally what fills up the coastal reserve area. Yeah. And it's not something that amateurs can get in.
I was thinking more of the area of the foundations and.
Oh, in relation to that, yes, certainly we're quite prepared to organise working bees and that sort of thing for the Godley House site. That would help. Yep.
Okay, Tim.
I guess it's along the same lines with regards to there are groups that work on the Port Hills with working with the rangers, maintaining the mountain bike tracks and walking tracks, etc., and the signage and all that type of thing. You mentioned before about the tracks in Diamond Harbour, etc. Would that be something that you guys could work in with the rangers?
In the past, and some decades back, that sort of effort has been put in by the community. Our current focus in terms of reserves and tracking is the Morgan's Gully area, as I referred to before, where there's a commitment now from the two councils to provide plants if we do a planting program in there. And that's probably going to suck up most of the effort from the people in the community who want to get behind that type of reserve management. There is a local person who does acts as a contract with the council to maintain the coastal track.
Yanni?
Thank you. I just wanted to pick up on page 6, City Planning and Development, your comments around heritage protection. We have been advocating for heritage. What more do you see us being able to do as a council in that space? I mean, advocacy to date has largely failed, but I'd be interested if there's any other things you think we should be doing in that area.
No, I'm sorry, I can't offer any other further imaginative suggestions. Just keep on doing what you're doing.
Do you think we should take back normal democratic decision-making powers from Sarah over our listed heritage?
No, I'm not going to comment on the relationship between the council and Sarah.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think that's come to the end of our time. Look, thank you very much for your submission. It's great to hear that a community organisation is more people interested in becoming part of the committee. You know, usually it's if you turn up to the meeting, you're on the committee. So it's just...
Yeah, well, that did happen as my chairmanship. But anyway, thank you very much for your time.
That's great news. Thank you very much.